Hey everyone, in this video we're looking at factors and multiples today. So our learning goal is to determine the factors and multiples of a whole number. So we're just looking at those integers, and by the end of this video you should be able to apply your knowledge of factors to strategies for expressing whole numbers. This is really useful in all aspects of mathematics, not just because we're learning about integers. It's used when you're dealing with fractions. It's also used with algebra, and it's also used in more complex maths like linear equations and binomial equations. Alright, so just to get us started, making sure that you've got your learning goal written down and also your vocab. So just making sure that we are familiar with the language that will be used in this video. So product, that is another word for saying what two numbers multiplied together, what will they give me? So the product of 4 and 5 is 20. So, or 20 is the product of 4 times 5. So you can use that language there. So that's why we put that word in there. Then you've got a multiple and factor. Now, just preface this with saying that it can be a little bit confusing, but if you think about it, like your multiply or multiple is when you have a number that's obtained by a whole number when it's multiplied by another number. So the word multiplied or the operation multiplied is referring to a multiple, and factors is when you factor sounds like fracture, so it's like when you break it into pieces. So it's a whole number that divides exactly into another whole number with no remainder. So if you could get that vocab down, so don't forget to pause and write, and you can start again. Okay, so here we are. Let's have a look at some examples of what we mean by finding multiples and factors of numbers, so we can meet our learning goal. So number one, I'm just going to do here, list the first 5 multiples of 6. So 6 times another number will give me, so say start with 0. Anything multiplied by 0 gives us 0. And 6 times 1 is 6. 6 times 2 is going to give us 12. And I think you get the drift. So all of these are multiples of all of these are multiples of 6 because it is 6 being multiplied by another number. And what we can do is you can see 0, 6, 12, 18, 24. Now with the next one, I don't even mind if you are very comfortable with your multiples or your timetable facts, that you could just do the numbers as they are. So with the 50, with that one there, you could start with, say, 0, 50, and 100, because that's times 2, 150, and 200. Yeah. And then the next one would be 11 times tables. So that's what we mean by the first 5 multiples. So see how I'm using my multiplication tables to help me with my remembering or recalling my multiples. Okay, and then that one, I'm going to start with, so 11 times 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, and you can get the gist there. So, and everyone knows that I'm not that great at my 12 times tables, but I'll give that a crack anyway. So 4, and that would be 12, 24, 36, 48, and 60. Cool. So here we are with the finding factors. We are looking for numbers that these numbers can be divided by with no remainders. So think about like factor, sounds like fracture. Fracture means to break. So break into even parts. So that's what dividing is. Okay, so let's have a look here. Number 1, list all the factors for number 20. So question 1. So when I think about 20, I can break it into 20 times 1. Yep. And then the next one would be 10 times 2. Now, I'm thinking about it as anything multiplied by 1 is itself, and 20 is an even number, so I can divide it by 2. Another one would be, well, if there's a 10 here, I can break that 10 up into a 5. So 20 divided by 5 is 4. So 5 times 4. Oh, sorry, 4 times 5. Remember, order does not matter. That's the commutative law. And I think I've got them all. Yep. Okay, so my factors for number 20 are 1, 2, 5, 10, and 20. Okay, the number 2. So it's going to be listing out all my factors again. 36 times 1. I can half that because I know 36 is an even number, so 18 times 2. And I also know that 18, there's a factor, 18 is a multiple of 9, so that means that I can use 9 to 36 divided by 9, because it's going to be 9 by 4. I know that there's a 3 in 9, or 3 is a factor of 9, so I can use that. 3 times 12. And I also know that 12 has a factor of 6, so I can use 6 times 6. I think I have them all. I have a, I don't have any 5, so I know, and I don't have any 0, so I know I can't divide by 5 and 10. So here are my factors. What I'm going to do now is write them out. So when it says find all the factors, that's what you should be doing. Sorry, I'm going to put them in ascending order. 1. I'm just going to leave a little line underneath each one so I know that I've filled it in. 2, 3, 4. So 2, 3, and 4. And now when I get to the 6, I don't write the 6 twice, I just write it once. 6. And what's the next one? 9. My handwriting's getting bigger. 18 and 36. Alright, so they're my factors of 36. Okay, the next one, there's quite a lot here. So 3. Our factors are going to include, so I'm going to see if I can do this. I'm just going to put my numbers in. I've got 1 and 100, 2 and 50. I know I can, this is an even number, so half of 50 is 25, so there you go. 4 and 25. I also know that it ends in a 0, so it means it can be divided by 10. There's a 10, and it's 10 times 10, so we don't need to write that again. And also, I know that it's an even number, so we divide it by 2, which, I've got 20 and 5. Ooh. Too far. 20 and 5. And I think I have all of them there. Yep, cool. So, we've got all our factors there. And for 28, so remember guys, normally I would set this up in a book, but because I'm working on a computer screen, it does make it a bit trickier to put it into columns so that you can see everything as well. Oh, it helps to put my numbers in order. So, for now, factors of 28, so remember we are looking for numbers that 28 can be divided by with no remainders. So again, always starting with your 1 and 28. It's always a good starting point. if your number is even, look for the 2. So 2, 28, 4, 14. I can see that there is a 14 here, which I know is a multiple of 7. So that means that 28 could be is divisible by 7. So that's 7 times 4 to give us 28. I look at these other numbers here. 2 and 4 can be divided by 2, so that's already done. And that is all the factors, I believe, of 28. So as you can see, your timetable facts will help you out a lot here. If you're unsure, have a check on your calculator before you go. And here are your textbook questions. In class, we'll be looking at what we call the divisibility rules that are associated to help you with finding factors and multiples. All right, guys, have a good one. Thanks. Bye.